welcome to Vibrational Revelations. I'm Elena.
I am Alejandro.
And in today's episode, first of all, happy Valentine's Day. We wanted to reveal to you 6 famous world couples. Now, to see the entire episode, please make sure that you join Vibrational Revelations membership community. And also make sure that you download the link which is posted below on what all of these numbers means, and also the video on the breakdown of all the aspects that we are going into in revelation of each and every person. Now, the episode is going to include in our community membership Beyonce and Jay-Z, Tom Hanks and his wife Rita Wilson, Sultan Suleiman, which we will reveal to you today, and Hurrem Sultan, Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck, Frida Kahlo and Diego Rivera, Prince William and Kate Middleton. Now, in this episode, it's going to be very interesting, of course, to see how these couples match. Are they really a vibrational match? So you guys can make your own decision of what makes people come together, what makes a couple stay together. And for us, it's been truly a remarkable journey of navigating and revealing and reading these couples. Of course, one of my favorite couples that I've been fascinated to find out, I think for the last couple of years, I've wanted to really dive and see what made these couples or these individuals who they are. So let's begin with Sultan Suleiman and Hurrem Sultan. I don't know how many of you know anything about them. He was the Sultan, the Magnificent, the ruler of the Ottoman Empire. And in fact, Alejandro and I had the privilege of going to Istanbul, Turkey, and visiting his mosque, his palace, and of course, the fascinating story behind his wife, Hurrem Sultan. And we'll talk about her after we reveal Sultan Suleiman, Sultan the Magnificent. He incarnated at the frequency of 350, which is the frequency of acceptance. He was born at the frequency of 350, the acceptance, which is very unusual. So for those of you that have been following us for a while, you know that most people that we read actually have a massive drop in frequency from in utero or incarnation to birth. In his case, he didn't. And his overall vibrational frequency was 350, which is acceptance. Health he viewed through the lens of 350, which is acceptance. Finances he viewed through the lens of 600, peace. And for those of you, of course, that have been listening to our episodes know that money vibrates at a frequency of 600. So he had this absolute flow in that department. Creativity. Creativity is all about what inspired him and how he viewed that, right? Or how he acted upon his inspiration. And in his case, it's a frequency of 700. So it's a frequency of enlightenment. He had this enlightened relationship with creativity. And for many of you who are historians or who have been following Sultan Suleiman's character know that he was a poet, right? And he also made jewelry. He was a great craftsman. Relationships he viewed through the lens of 350, acceptance. Personal growth he viewed through the lens of reason, 400. Philanthropy, 500, love. Intuition, 350. Clairaudience under intuition, 500. Clairsentience, 350. Clairvoyance, 350. Claircognizance, 350. IQ for Sultan Suleiman, 350, which is acceptance. EQ, the emotional intelligence, 175, pride. So he relied much more on his intellect than the emotional intelligence. SQ, which is the level of magnetism, right? And in his case, it was 700. So he had this enlightened way of being. So no wonder he was considered the Magnificent with his frequency of 700.
Way of being in social settings.
In social settings, right? He had this magnetic persona. AQ, how he dealt with challenging situations. And in his case, it's 350, acceptance. Now, we're going into percentages. He enjoyed his role, 87%. He was in his ego, 93%. And out of that, 63% superior. In the now, 91%. Integrity, 97%. Integrity to himself, 100%. Integrity to others, 92%. Self-awareness, 96%. Clarity, 100%. Alignment with both divine and personal purpose, 100%. Compassion, 93%. Empathy, 96%. So that is Sultan Suleiman.
Mhm.
Now we're going to look into, I would say, one of the most fascinating female figures in our history, and that is Hurrem Sultan. For those of you that don't know anything about her, she came from Ukraine. At 13 years old, she was taken from her village by the Ottoman Empire and brought into the harem. She was a slave. And of course, she was so clever, and we'll, of course, reveal her frequencies in a moment. Not only did she rise to become the ruler, the equal to Sultan Suleiman, she actually became the equal ruler, which was unheard of at that time, especially in the Muslim world.
Mhm.
So Hurrem Sultan, incarnated at the frequency of 200, courage, was born at the frequency of 100, which is fear, and her overall vibrational frequency is 375. 375 is acceptance, right? So very similar frequency to Sultan Suleiman, who was at 350. So they had very similar frequencies. Health, she viewed through the lens of 400, reason. Finances, she viewed through the lens of 600, peace, just like Sultan. Creativity, 400, so she had a creative mind. 400 is a frequency of reason. Relationships, she viewed through the lens of reason as well, 400. Personal growth, 250, neutrality. Philanthropy, 400, reason. Intuition, 350. And under intuition, clairaudience, 200. Clairsentience, 400. Clairvoyance, 350. Claircognizance, 250. IQ, 350. So she was absolutely equal as far as intellect to Sultan. EQ, her emotional intelligence, 200. She viewed through the lens of courage. SQ, the level of magnetism, or how she was in public settings or around people. And for her, it's a frequency of 500, a frequency of love. And AQ, when she was faced with challenging situations, a frequency of fear was triggered, 100. She enjoyed her role, 84%. In her ego, 100%. And out of that, 89% inferior. So in this case, she was the opposite. He was more in his superior. She was more in her inferior ego. In the now, 92%. Integrity, 96%. Integrity to self, 100%. Integrity to others, 68%. Self-awareness, 97%. Clarity, 96%. Alignment with divine and personal purpose, 100%. Compassion, 100%. Empathy, 100%. So it's pretty clear that they were a match. And the other thing is they're buried together, which is also very unusual, right?
Mhm.
In the mosque.
You read my mind. I was just thinking about that.
Yes.
Within the Muslim culture. I'm thinking
Yes,
about
yes, and especially for that time. So
Mhm.
fascinating.
Next is Magdalena Carmen Frida Kahlo y Calderón. That is a
Frida
full
Kahlo.
name, Frida Kahlo. She incarnated at the frequency of 310, that is the level of willingness. Was born at the frequency of 100, level of fear. And her overall frequency was 125, which is the level of desire, unfulfilled desire. She viewed health through the lens of guilt at 30. Finances, 100, level of fear. Creativity, 700, had an enlightened relationship with the aspect of creativity. Relationships, 125, level of desire. Personal growth, 125. Philanthropy, 75, level of grief. Intuition, 400, level of reason. Now within intuition, we have clairaudience at 400, clairsentience, 400, clairvoyance, 700, and claircognizance, 400. That's wonderful. Since she was an artist, having 700 in creativity and 700 in clairvoyance, more than likely that's how she was able to, or she was painting, no? The messages were coming to, more through under the clairvoyance category. Now, under the aspect of intelligence, we have IQ, 350, level of acceptance, EQ, 50, level of apathy, SQ, 400, level of reason, and AQ, 50. Indie joy, as of how much fun she was having playing the role of Frida Kahlo. It was at 42% out of 100%. Indie ego, it was 100%, and 100% of that was the inferior version of the ego. In the now, how much time she was in the present moment, in the now, 66%. Integrity, 87%. Integrity to self, 100%. Integrity to others, 84%. Self-awareness, 88%. Clarity, 96%. Alignment with divine purpose, 95%. In alignment with personal purpose, 92%. Compassion, 100%. Empathy, 100%.
They were the couple I couldn't wait to also read and find out what was it.
Right.
Were they a match?
Right. They have a couple of common patterns, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, next is Diego María de la Concepción Rivera.
I think his name was even longer, which is kind of...
Yes, it was. It just didn't fit. Diego Rivera, known as Diego Rivera. He incarnated at the frequency of 250, level of neutrality, and was born at the frequency of 50, level of apathy. His overall frequency was 125. That is the level of desire when it comes to the level of consciousness. He viewed health through the lens of fear at 100. Finances, 125, level of desire. Creativity, 700. Also, the same as Frida Kahlo, they had an enlightened relationship with the aspect of creativity.
They were both remarkable artists.
Both artists, yes. Relationships. He viewed relationships through the lens of desire, unfulfilled desire at 125, the same as Frida Kahlo. Philanthropy, 125. Personal growth, 125. Intuition, 250. Under intuition, we have clairaudience, a 50, level of apathy. Clairsentience, 250. Clairvoyance, 700, the same as Frida Kahlo. And claircognizance, 250. Now we have the intelligence aspect. Under IQ, we have 350, level of acceptance. EQ, 50, level of apathy. SQ, 400, level of reason. And AQ, 50, level of apathy.
They're actually identical in all the intelligence aspects.
Oh, that's right. Exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's kind of unusual, but in a way, that's the reason why they got divorced and then got remarried. No?
Yes.
I felt there's a strong pull, and they were definitely a match, vibrationally speaking. Now we go into percentages. In the joy, how much fun was Diego Rivera having playing his role? 75%. In the ego, 100%. And 100% of that was the superior version of the ego. The opposite, extreme opposite, as Frida Kahlo. Frida was 100% in the inferior. In the now, 77%. Integrity, 82%. Integrity to self, 93%. And integrity to others, 55%. Self-awareness, 95%. Clarity, 97%. Alignment with divine purpose, 100%. In alignment with personal purpose, I'm sorry, I have Lima who's licking my fingers.
It's okay. Continue.
Alignment with divine purpose, 100% again. Alignment with personal purpose, 100%.
She wants to say hello. She's part of the Valentine's Day Revelations also. Right?
Compassion, 74%. Empathy, 95%. And often when we find that the person has 100% in the ego and then 100% of that in the superior with low numbers in the compassion aspect, more than likely they have narcissistic tendencies, no? And that could have been the case with Diego Rivera. I didn't have the opportunity to interact with him to give an expanded description, but that has been what we a pattern that we have recognized after doing so many readings.
Yes. So thank you so much for being a part of our community. You could see Lima just wants to also be a part of the Revelations. And we hope to see you guys soon. And of course, make sure that you tune in to watch the full episode in our Vibrational Revelations membership community. Stay in your love, stay in your heart. Make sure that you remember to say I love you to all the people around you every single day, not just on Valentine's Day.
And to yourself as well.
And to yourself.
Yes.
And
hug yourself, kiss yourself, dance with yourself.
And we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.